Hey YouTubers, so got a guitar battle here. We've got, even though I'm showing you 4 guitars, we've got 3 guitars, different price ranges that we're going to do. Actually have a lot more guitars. I thought about throwing them all in here and making this an hour-long video, but shit, most people watch these videos, don't make it through the first 5 minutes. So if you're watching this, you know, we need to drag this out for, hopefully you'll make it to at least the 2-minute mark. Let's shoot for 5 though, alright? So, in the battle, we're going on the very low end. We've got this First Act guitar, which is something you could probably pick up at, local music store, maybe even Target, Sears. Pretty basic guitar. We'll talk about it more in the future here. Over here, we've got your ESP M2 neck through the body. MSRP on this thing is about $2,000. We'd expect to pay anywhere from $1,500 to $1,799 if you were to buy this. I actually have 2 of these. Not sure why I'm not using the other one. This one may be tuned to D, where the other 2 are standard. So just a little alibi there. But yeah, this guitar, we'll talk more about its features in a little bit. And that is made in Japan, in case I didn't mention that. Then over here we've got your USA made Jackson KV2. For metal guitars, this is more top of the line. And on the floor I've got a KE2, Jackson made in USA KE2. Somewhere around here I've got a custom shop one, but that would have been just really ridiculous to add that one in here. So we're going to use this one. This one, last I checked, is about either $3,700 or $4,300 MSRP. Only because it has the dragon inlays. So beyond that, not sure it's worth that extra money for the paint. Looks pretty damn cool though. Made in USA, like I said. And alright, so let's talk about these. Let's go back over to the first guitar. Hopefully I'll remember to talk about the amplifier we're going to use for this. So this guitar, is bolt-on. Features some really cheap-ass tuners. These kind of guitars on the low end, you're going to have more problems with keeping them in tune. And for those of us that, are somewhat tone deaf, that could be a problem. So the very back of it, pretty basic. Nothing too exciting on the back. Obviously, you got a rather cheap looking neck plate on there, and your control cavity. And of course, they're not going to put the best electronics on there. You also see, this guitar wasn't used very long, and it's already got staining on the neck from playing on it. Looks like rosewood fretboard, 22 frets, and humbucker. Nothing spectacular humbucker wise. Fixed bridge, a volume and tone knob, and a pick guard, which doesn't really make sense why there's a cavity on the back. They should have just made it on the front, but whatever. So nothing super exciting about this guitar, and these are the kind of guitars that you get and you go, wow, those frets feel a little rough, and you want to sand them down. Then you'll be like, wow, this neck's not very fast. So next guitar does not have that problem. So this once again is the ESP M2, and it is, let's talk about the front. We've got the 6 inline tuners. I believe they're ESP brand. Probably a Gota or somebody else with their nameplate. It's got a the nut on there, the Floyd nut, which will enable you to do your whammy dives and hopefully keep the guitar in tune. This guitar features 2 EMG humbuckers. Don't ask me why we have a different plate on there. The other one that I should be using is completely stock. It has very low string time on it. Probably why I'm not using it for this. Keep it safe. This guitar has an original Floyd Rose in it and does feature a volume knob only, no tone, 3-way toggle switch, and like I said, neck through the body, which is going to give you a lot more sustain than the guitar next to it. It's also made with better woods, and you'll see on the back it's got access to the Floyd Rose springs and another cavity, and a sticker from ESP. So that is that guitar. Pretty awesome guitar. I can completely see why Kirk Hammett plays these and a lot of other metal players. I absolutely love that neck on that guitar. Alright, so over here, could talk about the one in the back, but let's just talk about the one we're going to use. So once again, same thing with the silver or the 6-in-line tuning pegs. The ESP had rosewood. This is a ebony fretboard, which in my opinion is nicer and definitely looks sharper, being that it's darker. EMGs in it. Slightly different setup. You have 2 volume controls, one for each pickup, and a tone control. And that's one thing you'll notice. I'm not going to screw around with the adjusting the amp, which may be unfair to the ESP in this, because the lack of a tone knob. It may not sound as nice to you. So that's kind of a negative. Original Floyd Rose, just like the ESP, except this one is like a glossy black. And 2 EMGs in this one. These are actually newer EMGs. On the back, we neck through the body, like I said. And this thing is pretty much in the right hands, ready to kick ass. Unfortunately, your guitar player today sucks. So just kind of appreciate what actually, if there is anything that sounds good, appreciate those sounds and not so much the playing. All right, now let's talk about the amp. Peavey 6505 112 with 2 412 cabs hooked up to it, Celestians, and there are settings. We've got max gain for lead, and got it relatively cranked up. I'm down here in my the dungeon basically. So nobody messes with me down here. So all right, let's check these things out. So This doesn't have active pickups in it, so it's going to be a little noisier. And let's just give it a nice E chord. It's got alright distortion. Because of the way this neck is, it's just slow for the hands, you know, it's plug this into a shitty amp and it will sound like shit. So in fact, we got a good amp. Lousy guitar player doesn't help. All right, let's go on to the next guitar. ESP M2. Which, once again, doesn't have the tone knob in it. We've got the mids pretty much taken out of this. More classic metal. So I probably could use a new guitar chord. I have a feeling this is part of my problem down here. That over again. So that obviously had more punch to it, better sustain, definitely better as far as action goes, speed. I think she's slightly out of tune though, unfortunately. It's a little warm in here since I first got in here, turned all the lights on. So we may have lost the tuning that it was set up for, which sucks. I'll have to listen to it on playback. But so this guitar, you know, should be pretty similar. So we're definitely out of tune. Please exit the arena, grab all your belongings, and get the fuck out.